and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Cassia. On this channel, we discuss all aspects of the Ascension process. I have a variety of services that I offer to assist in your awakening journey, and you can find those listed in the description box below. Today, we're going to be doing the daily reading for Saturday, April 17th, 2021. And today is a day that's ruled by the heart chakra and guided by intelligence. And because it is a heart chakra day, it's a great day to practice that rainbow meditation, bringing the rainbow light down through the crown, down through the entire chakra system, exuding it out all the layers of the aura until you connect with that universal heart energy. I was about to say the affirmation for today. The galactic signature for today is the yellow resonant seed energy. And so this yellow seed energy is all about targeting, flowering, and awareness. And we're being guided to set clear intentions today, to plant the seeds of our intentions. And then, of course, as we move forward, to water and nourish those seeds so that they may grow. This is also an energy that's very much about understanding the power of channeling and the fact that each and every one of us is a channel for divine energy. We are divine energy, right? So how could we not be a channel for it? And so it's understanding that all inspiration is divinely inspired. Every song that was ever written, every piece of art that was ever created, every little nudge, right, that we receive throughout our day, all of that is divine inspiration coming from spirit. There's so many different ways that this inspiration pours in, and every time it does, we are being a channel for that light, for that knowledge, for that information, for that inspiration. So really working on focusing our awareness today on this ability, on the power that we all hold to be these channels, on the fact that we are channels, and simply allowing that divine inspiration to flow through us. And when we get into the astrology today, you guys are going to see how perfectly it lines up with this galactic signature today. I really love when that happens. So this energy is extremely potent. We're really wanting to we want to channel the awareness. And once we receive that awareness, we then want to send out that targeted intention, knowing and expecting that it will flower, right? The seed holds all the potential of creation within it. And so when we plant that seed, it has all the potential it needs to grow, provided we do take the constructive actions when they present ourselves. We talk about this all the time, divinely inspired action. So today is divinely inspired. What's the word that I'm looking for? It's escaping me now. I just use it a bunch of times. We want to set divinely inspired intentions. And then as we proceed, take those divinely inspired actions in order to water and flower these seeds to nourish them, right? So it's just a really beautiful energy of getting centered in the self, of acknowledging our own powers of creation and how we co-create that and bring that into manifest form with the help of source and with the help of everybody along the way, all the assistance that we receive along the way to help bring those manifestations to form. Excuse me. And so the affirmation for today is, I channel in order to target inspiring awareness. I seal the input of flowering with the resonant tone of attunement. I am guided by the power of intelligence. And the additional affirmation is, I am Khan's seed. I am your creativity and sexuality. I give you the power of growth and reproduction. All right. And now let us look into the astrology. So today we have the moon in the final stages of Gemini. And the moon will be moving on into Cancer. There was a sneeze that was about to come out too. The moon will be moving on into Cancer later today. And we have a conjunction today going on between Mars and the moon. So this is an interesting energy. This can be an energy where we feel, or I don't even want to say, well, we do feel, right? Because it's the moon energy. But we are much more likely to be motivated by our emotions and to act upon our emotions today. So we want to make sure that we're not being reactive, but we do want to take into account what our emotions are telling us, right? We want to respond taking into account our emotions, but we don't want to necessarily react in that split second to our emotions. With this energy in Gemini, this is also an energy that is very much about communication, right? And so we are going to feel as though we want to communicate our emotions today. We want to understand our emotions and other people's emotions. And so this Gemini aspect is actually helpful because it kind of tempers a little bit of this energy of this conjunction. And it allows us to kind of bring the mind in. Yes, to bring the mind in, which we do want to do, right? We don't want to be ruled solely by the mind or the emotions, but we want to merge the two. And so we do have an opportunity to do that today, and an opportunity to really effectively communicate our emotions. We have a bisextile going on between the moon, Mercury, and Jupiter. And Mercury, of course, is our communication. And the moon and Jupiter are sandwiching a couple planets right now, because we have that sun conjunct Mercury energy that we talked about yesterday. And so the moon and Jupiter, as well as Mars and Jupiter, right? Because the moon is conjunct Jupiter. The moon has moved in. Essentially, a shorter way to say all of that would be to say that the configurations we had yesterday with Mars, Jupiter, the sun, and Mercury, we've now added the moon into the mix because it's conjunct Mercury. And so this brings another level of emotionality into the mix, like we were talking about. But it also brings a deeper level of instinct and intuition. And with this Jupiter energy, which is very lucky energy, right? Really, I feel this sense of deep inspiration, deep creativity coming through with the moon conjunct Mercury, Mars conjunct Mercury. This is also a highly creative energy, a very dynamically creative energy. And when we add Jupiter into the mix, as well as, we're saying the sun and Mercury, this is huge creative potential, huge potential to really work with that awareness today, because we are going to be receiving some intuitive hits and some instinct, right? Our instinct is going to be guiding us, and it's going to be guiding us intuitively. So this is a powerful day to pay attention to those little psychic hits that you do receive. It also gives us a great opportunity to be able to learn to distinguish between what is our true intuition and what is our mind talking to us, or what is our emotional reactivity, because we have all of these elements at play. So that energy of getting really quiet, of really centering in our ability to be channels, right? We can then really feel that divine inspiration flowing through and really be able to recognize it. Ask your guides today to assist you in being able to recognize that divine inspiration when it moves through you, when you are channeling that energy. Ask to be made aware of that, because we're going to be experiencing that a lot of today. If you have a hunch today, really, I would recommend following through on that, because there's a very heavy energy of that being a likelihood, we'll say, that is divinely inspired. And so really pay attention to that. If it makes your heart swell, if it gives you that little excited jump in your stomach, that's how I usually tell when I'm getting an intuitive hit. And it's going to be possibly different for other people, but that's how it feels for me. I also feel this is a lucky energy around money and finances, interestingly enough. And so if you're getting any inspirations about your business or anything like that today, those may be divinely guided as well. Don't necessarily take a big financial risk and then blame me if it goes badly. But I feel like there may be inspiration coming through, especially for people who have been trying to figure out the ins and outs of those things recently. Like, how do I build my business? What is the next step that I need to take? Like those sort of energies. You may receive information about that today, or really anything that you've been pondering and trying to figure out. So I really like the energy for us today. And we're going to get into the Star Temple Oracle to start us out here. Guidance for whatever the number for the day is today. I'll look it up again before I post the reading, you guys. You know how I get with that. But guidance for today, Saturday. All right, we have the little star coming out, divine. My inner child is whole and complete. So today is a perfect day to play with your inner child, to take your inner child into consideration. I feel for some people, it's almost like our inner child is going to be giving us some divine inspiration today. And so we may be receiving little nudges and inspiration from our inner child. And so really follow that, especially if it feels fun, if it feels playful, if it feels lighthearted. That's your inner child coming through and guiding you. Your inner child wants to help reconnect you to your divinity, right? That is the purest form when we try to break ourselves down into different aspects, right? Our inner child is like such a pure form of our energy, right? This was us in this incarnation before we became, I don't necessarily want to say tainted, but maybe a little bit jaded, before all the intense programming really set in. Like, we are being programmed as a child, right? But like at some point in that process, before all of that starts piling up, like, we are fresh and we are very connected. So our inner child wants to help connect us to our higher self, connect us to our soul self, and connect us to that inspiration today. I mean, look at her. I'm noticing today in this card how she has the prayer hands, and there's this beautiful green light right around where her heart center would be too. So she wants to reconnect you with your heart as well today. Yeah. And you may even be able to connect with her like this, like her or him, depending on whatever gender, you know. I'm saying her because I'm looking at this beautiful little girl in this card here. But maybe I'm thinking of my inner child a bit too. But just holding the hands here and really seeking to connect with her. And ask her for guidance as well. And then we have Father of the Sky, Atlas. I release the weight of the world from my shoulders. So shake it off today, you guys. Whatever it is that's been weighing you down, your inner child wants to guide you to a more lighthearted state of being and wants to help you find ways to shed that excess weight that you've been carrying. A lot of us, we feel like we hold the weight of the world on our shoulders, right? We feel this intense responsibility for our own evolution. A lot of us for humanity's evolution, right? For so many things. And it's like, release a little bit of that today. And this is a good reminder as the moon moves into Cancer later on today, because Cancer is the mother energy. It is that nurturing energy. It is the caretaker energy. And so we want to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves first and foremost. And just unshouldering, releasing some of the burdens that we're carrying, that for a lot of us, they aren't even ours to begin with, right? We carry a lot of things that don't belong to us. And so like, you're being invited to put that down today. It's interesting. I almost feel like Atlas is coming through and he's saying like, give that to me. Like, look how effortlessly I hold this, right? You don't have to hold that. And it doesn't have to specifically be him, although he is coming through an offering. But anybody, any of your guides, any of your team, source itself, right? Release that burden, give it to them. They carry it with ease. They like bounce it. Like, you see how he's holding the world here? I feel like what he can do with that is really hold it in one hand and kind of bounce it up and down. And like he's got this, right? Your team, there are so many beings. This is also about being willing to receive help when help is offered today, to receive divine assistance in whatever way that's coming through for you. So pay attention to the ways that divine assistance is being offered to you. And I love on the bottom of the deck, right, because we had the inner child. And on the bottom of the deck here, we have the holy child, Starseed. I am a divine child of the universe. So this is today also really connecting in with the aspect of yourself that is a child, like your inner child and your greater inner child, which is that essence that is that divine child of the universe. So really connecting in with that, connecting in with your... I'm saying Heavenly Mother and Father, and I don't necessarily mean that in a strictly religious context. That's, we all have a Mother God and a Father God. And I'm not going to get into all of that right now. I don't even fully understand it myself. But I know that there are beings that created all of the beings, really, that Source created, that created all of the beings. Or that's how some of the sayings go anyway. And we all have what they would call a Heavenly Mother and Father. There's lots of other ways that they say it, but that's sort of the gist of it. So connecting with your divine heritage today, possibly, which is really interesting. Yeah, just so much connection going on with these aspects of the self. There was something else that I felt was coming through, but I lost it now. So we'll see. If it's important, it'll come back up, right? And then we have Electra, the morning star, radiance. I shoot for the stars. Radiance is my birthright. Yes, so go after your dreams today. Follow that divine inspiration wherever it is that it may lead. And we have the moonstone star, passion. I am entering a portal of euphoric love. Ooh, we like that, right? And remember, love starts from within. Build that relationship, that love with yourself. Build that with Source. And watch as that naturally trickles into all other areas of life. And so there's just, and we are getting ready as well. Actually, I want to check this out. I think we still have a few days here before Venus moves into Taurus. No, Venus just moved into Taurus. See, it's a lot to keep track of. So yesterday or the day before, it looks like Venus moved into Taurus. And so this is very much this energy too, right? Venus is now in her home sign of Taurus, where she is very euphoric. She is very sensual. She is very passionate. And so we are entering this beautiful cycle and period of being able to experience that love. So really spoil yourself, treat yourself, fall in love with yourself, and watch as that opens up into all different types of love. This is really reminding me of the Beauty Way card from the Moon Eye Key, or I call it the Moon Eye Key deck, the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck, which is all about seeing that beauty everywhere you go. See that beauty, see that love, fall in love with yourself, fall in love with the world, and watch how that translates, right? Allow yourself to feel this experience of euphoric love and all the ways that it comes through. Yeah. And this is once again with the Morning Star card, it always makes me think too of like, don't limit yourself. This is Spirit reminding you not to limit yourself, to continue to move forward. Like, embrace your inner child, release the things that are holding you down, the things that are unnecessary that you are carrying. Release that sense of responsibility when it becomes toxic. Like, of course, we want to take responsibility for our lives, right? We want to do that in the positive manifestation of the word. But sometimes that energy weighs us down when we look at it as a burden. Look at what in your life feels like a burden and really assess, is it or is it not? And if it does, right, if things feel like a burden, that is because, and they are things that are good for us, they are things that are necessary, they are things that fill our souls, but they're still feeling like a burden, then that simply means that we're overtaxed. That we need to find a way to balance out our time, balance out our energies, and refill our own cup, refill our own light in our soul, right? Because we're growing weary. So that's a really great barometer to judge and understand. If the things that we love begin to feel like a burden, how is it that we can restructure things? How is it that we can release some of that weight from our shoulders, release some of those burdens, allow other people to assist us in carrying those, right? Remember, radiance is your birthright. And with this, the tone that we have going on today, it is all about that radiance, right? And so we really want to allow ourselves to be radiant, to flower in our incredible majesty, and really connect to that sense of falling in love with your life. Oh my gosh, you guys. All right, so the next card that fell out here was Aethusa, Sun Goddess, Lift Off. I open my senses to feel delicious pleasure and passion. So we have two cards here talking about pleasure and passion today. And we did notice when we read that yellow seed energy, right? It said, I am your sexual energy as well. It's our creative energy. It's our sexual energy. And so we may feel very activated in those ways as our creativity is activated, as this Mars, right, which is our sexual energy, right? Our stamina, as that conjuncts the moon, right, which is that feminine quality. We may very well be feeling activated in that way, and we may be feeling very passionate. And so really, this is, of course, we're talking about, like we said, falling in love with your life, falling in love with the world, falling in love with yourself. But it's also like, allow yourself to experience that pleasure and passion wherever it shows up for you today. And for many people, it may show up through a person. It may also just be a way that, how can you give that to yourself, right? How can you enjoy yourself fully? Enjoy all of your senses, right? With this Venus and Taurus energy. How can you? We really want to take advantage of this energy. We want to be careful that we don't become too indulgent with Venus and Taurus, right? But we do want to take advantage of this energy and really utilize it and really take that sensual bubble bath, right? Go out and treat yourself in some way. As you guys can probably see, I went out and I got my hair done last week. I actually, for the ladies out there, got a Brazilian blowout, and so far it's looking really good. It was an investment I made in myself because it makes me feel good. So, like, what ways can you allow yourself to feel good right now? And allow yourself to experience, like, we came here to experience pleasure. Pleasure is a beautiful thing. when we experience it in a high vibrational way and we don't become a slave to it. So really allow yourself. I feel like this is Spirit giving permission to people who perhaps are I don't want to say negligent in this department, but don't allow themselves to fully experience the pleasure of being alive and being incarnated. That's one of this physical skin, this suit that we wear, it requires a lot of maintenance, right? But it also allows us to experience a lot of things in a way that we can't otherwise experience them. So really take advantage of that and allow that, indulge in those simple pleasures of life. And really look at and pay attention to what makes you feel passionate, what makes you feel inspired, right? And tap into that passion and that inspiration any way that it comes your way today. And that creativity, right? On the bottom here, we have Mother of the Sea, Goddess. I surrender to the boundless creative flow of the ocean. So really surrendering into our creative flow today, letting our passions guide us in that direction of what it is that we're wanting to create. I feel like this is really interesting and really funny. But honestly, I feel like some babies might get created today. Between all of this creative, this passionate energy, we got a couple of these child cards. I'm just feeling that coming through, like some starseed children may be born or created today, mostly created. And so if you're not wanting to create that, just create a child right now. Be careful in this energy today. That's all I'm going to say. But what kind of child do you want to create? If it's not a physical child, do you want to create a baby in the way of a project, right? Something, what are you wanting to birth today? Today has a really potent energy of birthing. Oh yeah, and now they just reminded me, that was the other thing that came through was, I've been learning a lot about hybrid children lately, which is that a lot of people actually have hybrid children that are, many of us, right, are extraterrestrial in nature, arguably probably all of us. But some people actually have hybrid children that are like half and half, which is really interesting. Well, actually, they'd be less because we're not fully human either, right? But look into hybrid children. It's really interesting. And so these children exist and live on different spaceships and different planets right now. But there are many Earth people incarnated in Earth bodies who have these children. And so for some of you guys, your hybrid children are wanting to connect with you and communicate with you today too. So that was a fun message. So I told you, if it's meant to come out, it'll come back out eventually. Yeah, I have no idea whether I have any. I haven't received any communication on that. I have some friends who do, and it's just really fun and fascinating as we kind of get into that stuff. And then we have the Ruby Star Flow. I embody my authentic and sensual essence. All right. And this card is very much, we got a solar plexus / sacral energy with all of this fiery orange and yellow energy, and definitely a root chakra energy here too. So there's lots of energy for that coming out. Yeah. So really get sensual with it today. Really play and have fun with that energy today, whatever way you want to do it. Like, that is coming through so strongly. But like I said, be aware if you're not wanting to create a little starseed baby, because that energy feels pretty potent today. And then the last card we'll do is the Oracle Forecast. I am the Oracle. My intuitive insights flow freely. And so this is that energy that we're talking about. Pay attention to your instinct, right? With all of this lower chakra energy, that's the instinct. The higher chakra energy, that is the intuition, right? And of course they blend together in that heart center. And we feel it there, right? We feel it there. We feel it here. But yeah, those insights are going to be flowing freely. So pay attention to them. Take note of them. Put them into practice. Whatever is coming through today, whatever guidance is coming through, is meant for you to put into practice in your life moving forward. It is there to assist you. It is there to aid you in this journey. All right. I love you guys so very, very much. What a beautiful day. Go out there, enjoy this energy, revel in this energy, right? Really indulge in this energy and the beauty of it and the beauty of yourself. Fall in love with yourself today. Dare I say, make love to yourself today. And make that love, create that love, share that love, be that love, radiate that love, right? out into the world. I love you. I appreciate you. I will talk to you all very soon. Oh yeah, you guys know the spiel with all of the things. Love you.